Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream with me. Um, what I just realized is that I don't ever introduce myself. So, my name is Joy Caso. I'm an anxiety support coach and licensed psychotherapist. It's so good to be here. I try to do this every Monday so far. I've been able to keep up. And today we're just going to dive right in the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is the key to emotion regulation. It is so important and it is going to help you transform your life once you know what it does, how to work with it, how it works, and what is the connection with emotion regulation. First of all, emotion regulation has nothing to do whatsoever with fixing your emotions or controlling it or even changing how you feel. So, if you are feeling, let's say, you're feeling agitated and you want to switch it to calmness or you want to switch it to feeling peaceful, that is not what emotion regulation is really used for, right? Emotion regulation is not something that is like a switch that you go from one emotion to another. Emotion regulation has to do with what's happening in your nervous system. Emotion regulation has to do with how you support yourself in those intense emotions, and you don't want to be in that state of whether it's chronic stress or chronic anxiety. And so, with emotion regulation, the first thing that you want to do is name the emotion, right? Like, what is it that you're feeling in that moment? And then you also want to locate it in your body. What sensations are showing up in your body? What are those things that you're feeling physically? Whether it's your breath, your posture, uh, your body changing from one state to another, right? And when you are in this emotional state, what's really happening is that your vagus nerve, it's the nerve, right, that runs from the back of the brain to your tailbone, through the spine, of course. And that vagus nerve is sensitive, it is attuned to the environment. And rightfully so, because that is the one, your vagus nerve is the one that helps you react or respond appropriately to the stimulus in the environment. So, what that means is that the vagus nerve, your body picks up everything in your environment, right? It detects whether there's a threat, there's a safety, or everything else in between. And it happens really, really fast. In the blink of an eye, your body has to pick up whatever signals are happening in your environment because you have to respond right away, right? So if you see a snake, you're biking on the sidewalk and you see a snake, there's no time to think. Your reaction time has to be quick so that you can survive that situation. You can either, fight or flee from it, right, in order to protect yourself. And so the vagus nerve has to, because it runs right like through your body, it has to send signals to the other organs, the other systems in your body so that you can use what you need in that moment. So your muscles change, your breathing changes, right? The distribution of oxygen changes, your reaction time changes. All of those things are controlled through the nervous system, through the vagus nerve, so that you know what is the proper response for that moment. Your vagus nerve is so involved in emotion regulation. What that means is that when you want to regulate your emotion, meaning if you're feeling angry and that's, you want to make sure that you are expressing it in a healthy way, you are not, it's not some vague idea, right? Like it is a tangible idea of regulating your nervous system. You're regulating, essentially, that's what I wanted to lead into. Regulating your emotion is really regulating your nervous system. What is happening in my nervous system right now is the right question, is a very important and helpful question. What is happening with my vagus nerve right now? What is it picking up, right? That can actually help you reduce the negative self talk. So, instead of judging yourself or being critical about your emotions, you are learning to come alongside your body and what it's, doing. And you can come up with more practical ways to sit with your emotions, because now you know it is not something that you caused. It is not something that you should be blamed for, right? Whether it's anger, anxiety, or sadness, or any other emotions that come up for you. When your vagus nerve is out of balance, then you are more likely to be more sensitive to your environment. You get startled easily, you're hyper vigilant, right? Sometimes you may even describe yourself as being paranoid because every little noise, every little thing that someone says to you, then you pick it up and say, you know, what's going on? There's something wrong, right? But when your vagus nerve is balanced, you are able to then pause and reflect and, try to understand what you need to do next. Now, the the takeaway for tonight is that you are very capable of balancing your vagus nerve. The first layer is really making sure that you nurture yourself as far as your basic needs, that you're getting quality sleep, you're hydrating, you're eating mindfully, and you are taking breaks, right? Those things are so essential. They are not luxury, they are basic needs. And believe it or not, that alone helps you to balance your vagus nerve, which means that your vagus nerve in its balanced form, in its optimal functioning, it can help you understand whether you are in an environment that is threatening your safety or that is something that is helpful for you, right? So that's the first layer, is that your basic needs, making sure you have your basic needs, can help balance your vagus nerve. The next layer is making sure that you are connected, with other people. Actually, I should say the next layer is the breath work, the journaling, the meditation, and exercise, movements, right? Physical movements, all of those things help reset and balance your nervous system. You want to make sure that you have daily routine, daily practices that are sustainable, especially if you are coming into this for the first time, or this is something that you are just getting used to. You don't ever want to push yourself and say, I'm going to work out for, you know, 5 days a week, right? Like want to be, you want to start slow and steady and be very consistent about your practices. So that's uh, that's very important. So then again, the next layer that was the meditation, journaling, and exercise or physical movement. You don't have to do all of them all at the same time and every day, right? Like you definitely should schedule. You need to schedule these practices. You need to make sure that they are doable and realistic for you, right? That your schedule is realistic. Now, so that's the second layer. And these are things also that you may need to, do some trial and error at first, as far as like meditation and journaling, right? Like these are practices that are very gentle practices. And I remember maybe like 6 years ago when I came to understand what meditation and breath work would do for me, and how I can, how it resonated with me and what I wanted to do with it, and what kind of practice that looks like for me. So in this season, I like meditating in the morning after, my daughter leaves for school and I'm waiting on my son to wake up. That is the perfect time for me. Over the years, I've had to change this routine. Over the years, I've had to change my schedule because there were seasons when I needed to, be up really early and start working on things. But this stage of my life, I'm able to wait a little bit as far as starting my workday, right? So, journaling. Journaling is not something that I do every day. Uh, and I also do many different things. Like I do note taking, I do my Bible study or devotion, and then I write my prayers or gratitude. So it's all of those things. Now, when I teach my clients, when they are ready, of course, when I teach my clients about meditation and journaling, it's a very slow process, right? What I mean by that is we really have to hone in to the practice that makes sense for them. We start, with a 1 minute, or actually not one, that's the downtime. We start with like 3 minutes, right? And then we gradually increase that. But the beautiful thing about that is because of the accountability that and the support that I'm able to provide. So I check in with them, right? And on a weekly basis, we try to see what the progress looks like. And then the same thing with journaling. There's so many forms of journaling, so many forms of um, meditation, that not everything will resonate with you. So you do have to make sure that you try different things. Whenever you see, anything on social media, you also want to try and see if that is something that resonates with you. Now, another layer for balancing or reset of the vagus nerve is connection with other people. People that help lift you up, people that are supportive, people that are safe. safe for you to share your story, safe for you to share, your opinions together, right? And people who are not going to judge you, or people who are going to welcome dialogues and communication with you, right? Because how balanced or imbalanced their vagus nerve is is going to affect yours. And there is again an exchange of energy between nervous systems, if you will. So the connection that you form with other people will also affect your vagus nerve. And then there's also the layer of walking in your purpose, and walking in and truly living out, your passion, creativity, your intuition, how you connect, right, with yourself, self-reflection. All of those things are good for your vagus nerve. And when you take care of your nervous system, and you make sure that you understand how your body responds, what's going on, right? For every sensation that comes up, you are able to just pause and connect with your body. That's exactly how the entire practice of emotion regulation works. It's not because there's something wrong with you, it's not because you need to fix something. It is because your vagus nerve is on different states, if you will, or touching on different levels. And next week, I can definitely go into the different states that our nervous system, um, you know, reaches depending on the environment that you're in, depending on the emotions that are showing up. So when you have these emotions, when you are feeling a certain way, go into that question of, I wonder, what I can do for my nervous system, versus what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Right? Like asking the right questions will definitely help. I encourage you to also go back to watch the different live streams that I've had so far over the last 3 weeks or so, as I talked about somatic work, and somatic techniques. Those are going to help you as well with balancing your nervous system, so that you can maintain that awareness, connection with your body, and uh, having that sort of buffer, so that or that window of time, so that you can respond appropriately and express your emotions in a healthy way. Make sure that you check out my free resources. One of them is the Equip Your Mind to Cultivate Positive Change. And I share 6 practical tools in that ebook, that short ebook, that you can apply to your situations right away. And also, feel free to schedule a free consultation with me if this is something that you're interested in. If you've seen this on social media, or read an article about the vagus nerve, or the health of your nervous system, and how it ties into emotion regulation, I am more than happy to explain more of that. Or if you're ready to schedule an appointment and a session with me, feel free to do so. My clients are global when it comes to anxiety support coaching, and I am licensed in the state of Florida for therapy. So I will end here for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. And for those of you who are watching this on replay, I will be back next week for another live stream, and we can talk more about the vagus nerve or the nervous system and the different states, different levels, uh, so that you can again pair up your tools with what's happening in your nervous system. By the way, the vagus nerve connects your brain to your gut and your gut to the rest of the body. I mean, that is the flow of the nerves, right? Like there's just so many communication levels that happen in our body, and it's really fascinating. And hope to see you all again next week. Take care.